Coming up next, we're shifting some things around because we've got the picture of the alleged abductor in the Nancy Guthrie case, the mom of Savannah Guthrie, who co-anchored the Today Show. We're going to talk with Dr. David Hayes, criminologist who has worked cases for Court TV. And we're going to talk about the latest development in this very high-profile kidnapping case. We'll be right back. All right, it's 1:30. We're back with a big story of the day, biggest development in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. We have pictures from the FBI. Let's take those pictures because we also have video, but we'll show you the pictures first. This is what we've shown you for the past half hour here. This is from FBI Director Kash Patel. FBI believes that this is our first glimpse at who they believe is the kidnapper or person of interest in the Nancy Guthrie case. She's the 84-year-old mother of Today Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie. She's been missing for 10 days. She has health issues and she takes medicine. She has a pacemaker. The pacemaker has been disconnected from the app and the phone. And every time that we have seen the Guthrie family make an emotional plea, they have talked about how dangerous it is to have her away from her medication. The family believes that she is still out there. Let's go to some video, though, that we were just now getting into our Fox 2 newsroom. This is video of that same person. Looks like they're holding some sort of plant, covering up the doorbell camera. Police have said in this case that the doorbell camera was removed shortly before Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home, which was around 2:30 in the morning on February 1st. So we have been making some calls, and we have now reached out to Dr. David Hayes. He's a criminologist. He's worked for Court TV. He's going to help us kind of make sense of the situation as we have been following this very fluid situation over the past half hour. Dr. Hayes, how are you?
Well, how are you?
Hey, doing well. So we've seen video. We've seen photos of who we believe is a suspect in this abduction case. We're 10 days in. So what do you make initially of this latest development?
enough, we can't really make too much from the latest development, mainly because we still aren't 100% sure that this was a kidnapping on its face. This could have been a burglary gone wrong. This could have gone, any number of ways. What we do know is that is a person of interest. That person did disable the camera, or at least attempted to disable that camera. So that could have been behavior that was concurrent with a burglary or a robbery, or someone breaking in to steal an elderly, frail woman's prescription medication. The kidnapping in and of itself, it's telling that we still don't have proof of life of Nancy Guthrie. It's also very quite disturbing, and it's also telling that since the Guthrie family hasn't paid out yet, that probably indicates that authorities are telling them that they can't verify the veracity of the note. So what that leaves us with is this is a really good image of a bad actor. The intent of the bad actor, not sure yet.
What is the next step, or what should be the next step for investigators in this investigation after having released these photos and this video?
That's a really good question. And if it were on its face, a straight up kidnapping, the next steps would be to, continue to press for that proof of life and further humanize Nancy Guthrie the same way that her children did in that first video, saying her name, keeping her humanity involved. If it is a drug burglary or home invasion gone wrong, then there's a different approach. Then, in that sense, we can probably assume that Mrs. Guthrie is not still alive, which is sad. And if we're 10 days in, the odds of someone in her condition persisting this long under captivity is it's difficult to fathom. So next steps, we try and identify this person, and it appears that they've done this before, so it may be a bit difficult.
One of the conversations we've had in our newsroom over the past 10 days is just how bizarre this whole situation has been. I mean, we had two ransom notices, two with, millions, asking for millions of Bitcoin, and then deadlines that have now come and gone in 2 different weeks now. What have you noticed in this entire situation that is quite different from other story? And I know I know it's case by case with these, but what have you noticed that may, raise some red flags in this situation compared to some others?
They did not send any messages directly to the family at first. The ransom notes came to, I believe, two local Tucson news outlets and TMZ, which is inherently an entertainment channel. I haven't read the notes, of course. I don't have access to reading the notes, but it rings a lot like the John Benet Ramsey ransom note, where it's put together kind of like someone who watches a movie thinks a ransom note should go and sends it out to the media. If they really wanted to get paid, then they would send that to the family with that proof of life. So that's an odd point that I don't think enough people are talking about. As kidnappers, they're not very good at the kidnapping aspect of it. As home invaders, completely different. So I think that's one of the big red flags that we threw out there. Was this part of another crime? And Mrs. Guthrie unfortunately got wrapped up in it, and she happened to be home when they didn't expect her home, or any number of reasons. And then they later discover that her daughter is rich and famous. We did wait between 3 and 4 days before that initial note to come out. That's not normal in a kidnapping case either. So, the media started to report that it was Nancy Guthrie, mother of Savannah Guthrie, that was missing. Then the note comes. So it's conjecture, of course, but it's interesting.
How many years have you been, doing criminology work?
Oh gosh, over a decade at this point. I teach. I work on cold cases for different organizations and individuals, and try and help out. And it's seeing kidnappings are rare to begin with. So let me correct that. Kidnappings that we know about are rare. Most of the time, a kidnapping is going to happen when a disaffected parent is taking a child,
Hmm.
and in those senses. But as a constant, a kidnapper is someone who feels that there's an injustice to them. And in taking a person, they're trying to have that injustice fixed. Now, it doesn't have to directly appeal to them. So, any wealthy, frail, vulnerable person could just stand in the place of that injustice. But really, kidnappings are a response to a perceived injustice, and it's hard to fathom what that could be.
Oh, the use of Bitcoin as a leveraging tactic here, is this new considering cryptocurrency is still more or less in its infancy?
I would think so. I mean, it's relatively, from what I've understood, and I've done the learning curve that everyone else has with Bitcoin as far as this case is concerned. From my understanding, it's relatively easy to have an anonymous wallet, and only the person that had the wallet wouldn't have the keys to that wallet. So I think that Bitcoin is kind of tailor made for these sorts of scenarios. In this sense, though, it's again, the kidnappers are making another giant mistake, of course, since the wallets are public, the keys are private, but the Bitcoin wallet is public. So the address this goes to will be the most watched Bitcoin wallet on the planet, from normal people, net detectives, organizations. Everyone's going to be checking this out. So if any money goes in there, then you're not going to be able to withdraw it, because then we'll know where it goes at that point. So as a way to launder money, it's pretty good, but not something as high profile as this. So Bitcoin being new, sure. That's an interesting new twist to kidnapping and ransoming. This particular usage, I don't think it's the best plan, going to the idea that maybe we're not dealing with some very sophisticated kidnappers at all, but maybe somebody else.
I got one more question for you because then we have to get to our reporter out in Tucson. But
Yeah.
the way you describe that, it makes me believe that if these people make a mistake, that's going to break this case wide open, and it speaks to maybe the relative inexperience of the people involved in this. Am I correct in saying that?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I would say inexperience in as kidnappers. Probably wonderful home invaders that have done this multiple times. As we can see, they're obviously well versed and have a process. So that's not an amateur disabling that camera. But as far as a kidnapper is concerned, yeah, these are, I don't think, even if they kidnapped before, they didn't plan on the scope of this. And the scope is just, it's worldwide at this point, in large part due to the victims' children. And yeah, I'm not quite sure that they planned for this kind of attention. I mean, the president came out and mentioned something about a local crime, essentially, it's just gone nationwide.
Dr. Hayes, hey, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And we'll continue to follow this. I'm sure we will likely have another conversation with you as this case continues. We hope for resolution,
Mhm.
and we hope for peaceful resolution. But we do appreciate your insight, and we'll talk to you again soon.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, so we are waiting to talk with Amalia Roy, who's with Fox. Earlier, I said Fox 10 in Phoenix. She's actually with Fox, and she's been covering this case. And once she gets dialed in and ready, we'll talk to her. But we'll be right back on this big story of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. We're seeing photos, we're seeing videos, and now that is another big step in this case.